Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Bone, Blood, and Blade Legend of the Five Rings campaign. I am the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and I will be your storyteller this evening. And last we left off, there was no chat about Knuckles anywhere in the vicinity. We opened up in the morning with the Doji not trying to wake up his wife. He went looking for his daughter and observed her doing some of the morning rituals, some training, some watching some dueling with the other students. We shifted over to Mori, who woke up in the crane encampment in one of the guest tents. Ended up speaking to the Doji's wife about the trouble they had with the Guro the day before. We're given some eggs, some relationship advice, and then we followed them as they went over and tried to offer the eggs as a peace treaty. And they learned very quickly that a Guro does not like eggs. And there was an awkward exchange, which was very interesting. We shifted back to the Doji, who had his daughter kind of walk off with the other students. They prepared to shower her with the present that is her armor. And then we saw Tamori come back, swallow her pride, their pride, and ask for help from the Doji himself, because he is a Guro's oldest friend, and learned a little bit more about Doji than I think they wanted to, especially that the Doji has a pillow book collection. Was given an apple and given advice on how to handle a Guro, and we followed them with a bottle of sake to the crab encampment, where they were shown that a Guro was with some students in the river, kind of practicing some fishing. And then we had a very interesting exchange as Tamori Mori poured themselves, some sake, poured a cup for a Guro, and then did the unimaginable and drank their own served sake. How uncouth of them. But they shared a drink. They talked about their feelings, and a bewildered Kuni or Hida ended up following them back. They spent some time. They got to see the Doji present his daughter with the armor. And at this point, Tamori kind of snuck away to leave the family moment as it is. And they got to see the Lion Clan entourage come into town. The big procession, very proud people. And before anything got too out of hand, they also asked the Doji's wife to help with being introduced to the daimyo. We got to see a little bit of the court proceedings and just how dangerous Doji's wife can be. And as they were coming back from that, and the Lion were preparing to introduce themselves, the Doji and Aguro got to meet some of them firsthand, and they exchanged pleasantries with their glory of past encounters. Among all of that, we found out that the Kuni came rushing over to find Aguro, thankful to find Aguro with the Doji. She revealed that they found Chantoro dead in the tall grass. We left off with Kunisango, Ida Aguro, and Doji Izanagi rushing towards the tall grass where the Nezumi was found dead, and with Tamori Mori and Doji's wife kind of returning from the magistrate building to the crane encampment. And this is where we're going to find our two players this evening. And we have a new face joining us. Hello, new face.
Just wanted to make sure my mute wasn't on.
Oh, good. We're gonna bring that over.
I hope not.
Excellent.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
So before anything, we're going to go to the northmost most part of Shinomen Forest, the northmost part of Scorpion territory, to the spine of the world, to the mountain ranges that separates the north half or the north third from of the empire from the rest of the empire. And in Shiro no Soshi, the castle of organization, as it's been called, we find a small entourage of Scorpion characters. We see the group of about 12 of the brightest and best that the clan has to offer being whittled down. We see some of the seniors, um, the actual clan seniors, the daimyo himself of the family, has come to the castle um, to sign off on the three mentors that are going to be taking the top four students to the Topaz Championship. Among them on the short list is one Soshi Tetsuro. What does Soshi Tetsuro look like, and how does he carry himself?
So Soshi is roughly 5'9", slender, reed thin, dresses in primarily silks, cottons, the red and black of his house with the Scorpion clan Mon just over his heart, gold. He typically wears a one of the wide circular hats that keep the sun off his somewhat pallid complexion. His hair is long, black, and straight. Uh, it's hard to tell his facial expression because it's always hidden behind a mask. His mask, in particular, instead of looking like the leering Oni that some Scorpion adopt, his is completely featureless. It's just a porcelain half mask that covers the lower part of his face. The other notable feature is that his kimono is pinned back up onto his left shoulder, showing that his arm is missing. He's tends to walk with a fairly confident gait. At his hip, he has his tanto, but he very rarely seems to even pay it any mind. He does have what looks like tattoos running from the back of his hand up into his sleeve on his one good arm that has several kanji relating to the kami going up and down it. At present, if he's waiting for something to happen, he's amusing himself with watching everybody that's going on and kind of humming little ditties to himself.
Okay. Um, the offerings that have been whittled down, there is contention to take only Bushi characters, to take only those students that have mastered the skill with the sword, the skill with the battlefield, but also that have tempered themselves with some of the court proceedings. There's currently no real push to take a Shugenja down to the tournament. Um, is this something that Soshi Tetsuro would be fighting for, or do you think that he would lean towards the consensus?
Oh, if that's what the clan wills, then that's what the clan wills. There's no sense in arguing about it. If they wish to send a less capable contingent in regards to uh, proving Scorpion clan superiority, that's fine.
Mm.
I've not seen the Bushi yet can work the miracles with the Kami that we Shugenja can. Let them play. I know where the real power lies.
One of them kind of listens intently to what you have to say and nods. And then there's a quick kind of reorganization. And after quick chat between the elders, a list of four is finalized and announced. And there is a single Shugenja in the group, Soshi Hinmaru, who will be representing not only the family, but also the clan as far as the art of the kami is concerned. They also announced that the three mentors that will be going down will be Chosuro Nawako, a young lady of some repute. Um, she has been known by the title of Whispers of Victory. There's rarely a court battle that she gets into that she can't get out of. Uh, the other judge, or mentor rather, that is going down is Bayushi Jiamaru, who has earned the title the Man of a Thousand Swords, um, for the inspiring loyalty of the troops at his command. And the third mentor that will be going down with this group is your name, Soshi Tetsuro.
Mentor. Excellent. Will I have enough time to bid goodbye to my wife? Well, fiance.
Yeah, they say that you'll leave in the morning, and that you will stop in at the City of Lies, rather gather supplies, and take the river down to what is a village you've never heard of. It's called Kumo Shinai. It's on the border of crane, crab, uh, and scorpion territory.
Sounds very cosmopolitan.
Yeah, you have the rest of the day, the evening, and the morning. The caravan will take off. What do you want to spend the evening with Emmy doing?
We actually typically spend our evenings in mostly silence, but that's part of the game. We see how long we can go doing things to irk the other one subtly, or someone is forced to speak to tell them to stop. And the game is about escalation over the course of the evening. So it's just little playful things. He will also eventually break down and kind of tell her the plan that he's been selected to be one of the mentors and that he'll be back as soon as he can and that he will miss her dearly on this trip.
She nods, um, very out of character for her, and then with a coy smile, she kind of grabs your good hand. How long do you think you'll be gone?
I don't know. I hopefully won't be gone long.
I've never heard of this village. Why you?
Would it sound arrogant to me to say that hopefully they found some merit in my abilities? I'm sure, however, it has something to do with the machinations of the Bayushi. I There's another Shugenja who will be going, and I'm sure that there may have a need for an alternate should something happen to them. I'm not sure. And do they have you on any business as well?
Not as of yet.
Be safe.
Is your relationship loving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is definitely a joyous betrothal. Both of us are very, very into it.
Okay. Then she will put her hand on your face very warmly.
I make sure she's the only one that sees me outside of the mask. That parents, but uh, he welcomes the contact and gently places his own against hers.
So do your not even your siblings have seen you since you've donned the
Not
mask?
since I was a kid. Not since I was a kid. The family tends to cling to the scorpion trope of masks
Okay.
pretty religiously. They don't like to even show affection on their faces by accident.
Okay. So then this is definitely the relationship with Emmy is much different than the relationship at home.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a level of trust he doesn't have with his family.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So you spend the evening together, and after you blurt out um, your news, and she kind of have your whole interaction. It goes back to the quiet game and seeing who can hold out the longest. Um,
He'll do things like when she's not looking, he'll just move things around. When she comes back to get them, they're just not quite in the right spot.
yeah, yeah. And if she wasn't used to it, she would have given you an eyebrow. But I think that eyebrow has softened over the time that you've been together. Uh, at the beginning, there's definitely a hard look, a raised eyebrow, and just grit teeth. Now I think there's just a little sigh, a shift in her perception to find out where you've hidden her things or where you've moved them, and then just a shift in gears to go about her business. But she is the first one to crack at the end of the evening when you're bedding down, and she just kind of comes over, kisses you on the top of the head, and she says good night to you and safe travels.
I bid her good night as well. I will be staying up a little bit longer so that I can compose a proper haiku so that when she wakes, she will find it.
Okay. Uh, and sure enough, right before dawn, one of the messengers comes, awakens you, um, tells you that they're ready to leave, and you start to make your way to the city of lies. It's a little bit southwest of Shiro no Soshi. The city of lies is a completely different backdrop, whereas the castle of the Soshi is meant for practicality. It is one of the hardest castles to siege in Rokugan. There are watchtowers along the mountains that have been built to kind of make sure that even with the proximity to the Lion Clan territory, that you always have advanced warning. Um, and even with a meager army, the passage leading to the to the castle could be well defended for several days until reinforcements arrive. By contrast, the City of Lies is spread out. There are colors everywhere. The scorpion motif is present in every single structure. Um, there are colored lanterns all over, and every other building has some kind of music coming out of it. It is lively. People here are eating, they're drinking, there are mock duels with boken out in front of different lodgings. Um, and you can see that there's a few people from out of clan. There's definitely some crane colors that you see. There's definitely some dragon colors. Um, People are enjoying themselves and they come to enjoy themselves. But here you find yourself kind of going around the city to the southwestern outskirts where you see a dockyard and there are two large ferries that have been outfitted for your passage. Um, how would you like to separate yourself with the other teachers, the other mentors, and the students?
think that I think that he would keep himself close to the Shugenja representative that they're sending.
Mhm.
And in the event that they have any questions or are looking for any advice, he will make himself available. Otherwise, he will derive some small satisfaction for just kind of looming there, um, lightly, but presently.
Okay. They put you, and the other student, the other Soshi, together, um, and they also give you the Bayushi Garahito and Bayushi Rogen um, on your ferry, and the Bayushi mentor, the Sashuro mentor, will take Chosuro Tatayasha on their ferry. So their ferry ends
Well,
up being
maybe
the one in the front, since it has a little bit less weight. Yours ends up being the one in the rear.
usually is. Uh, let's see. Has anyone been to this settlement before? My
Among
arrogance is not such that I will not admit that I've never heard of it.
among your group, no, but one of the ferrymen has traveled as far south as the village is located.
Please speak. Tell us of this place. I'm curious. And
Uh,
I will add that Tetsuro does have the hero of the people advantage, where commoners do like him.
oh, that's true. Um, he kind of thinks back as he's still kind of pushing the boat forward, and he looks over at you. He's like, "Oh, it's a small village. Maybe at most, I don't know, few people. There's a big building with a courthouse. There's a fishmonger's. Um, there is a tea house. I remember that. There's a Scorpion tea house down there.
It's a pleasant sign as far as civilization goes. Who is the local magistrate who oversees the village?
Oh, that's I don't know rightly, sir. That's recently changed. Uh, a young peasant that was found to be an actual surviving member of one of the imperial lines has recently taken over there. Uh, Miwa, I think, definitely wasn't
Oh,
Sepun,
how gratuitous for them.
but he's the one that's taken over. as far as daimyo of the city, of the village is concerned.
Well, I appreciate your information, my friend.
Of course.
I'll trouble you no further.
And the ferries end up stopping. You pick up the rest of the entourage. You pick up some servants. The gear that you're going to need for the encampment, things like that. You can see that each of the ferries is now very full, and each of them has these kind of two servants that are holding up the banner with the clan Mon, and the ferries start to push off again. And around just shortly after sunset, as the last vestiges of the reds, the yellows, and the oranges have sunk beyond the canopy of the Shinomen Forest, you can see the lightning of the trees, the spattering of the forest kind of breaking out and giving way to the tall grass of the green sea beyond. And you start to see the lights from the village. Um, and it's maybe an hour and a half after the sun has disappeared and given away to the purple, black, blues of the evening, and the spattering of stars are most of your light as the moon is in its crescent shape right now. You come
How
to,
how many miles are we from the castle where we started?
oh, a fair amount.
Oh,
Let me see. There's a,
if it's more than 50, don't.
I think it might be. um, yeah. So easily a good minimum of 100 miles away.
Up until the 50-mile mark, he was sending just messages on the winds to Aimi
Okay.
using the legacy of Kaze.
You have noticed that the Soshi, the young Soshi that you're escorting, has had little giggles here and there. And you notice that, let me make sure that I'm using the right sex, right gender pronoun for them. He is, every so often, will just kind of under his breath would just be like, "Stop, no." But it becomes really evident to you that he has an air kami that kind of follows him around.
How old are they?
Uh,
They're just kids, right?
he is 16.
If you would be willing to entertain some free advice from a senior, you may wish to better control yourself when among the other clans. Those kind of outbursts and breaks in decorum show a lack of control.
He
And
bows
we
low to
pride
you.
ourselves, yes, we pride ourselves on control. Furthermore, I feel the need to remind you that the kami are not our friends. The kami serve us. You do well to remember that.
He nods at you from his prostrated position. Um, he kind of sits up, it has been difficult to establish dominance. Or, um, yeah, are all air kami like this, or is it just mine?
I don't know your kami in particular, but all kami, the other clans view them as companions, or they view them as things to be bartered with. We know the special languages, we know the ancient secrets, we know that the kami, once you have mastered their language, you have mastered them. As of now, your kami view you as an equal or a friend. That is not the relationship that you have with them. It's like having a favored hound in a kennel. You develop familiarity, you develop affection. You may even name them, but don't forget at the end of the day that they are not equal to you, or any scorpion for that matter. I'm only telling you this not to chastise you, but so that you can better understand the viewpoint of our family, our clan. I
Y-
don't wish to see you face a public chastisement for your lack of decorum.
He nods. I understand. And after that discussion, you notice that a lot of the flapping that his kimono was doing in the wind, a lot of the uh, kind of hair tussling that was happening has ceased.
I smiled to myself because I am a good scorpion.
You sure are. And as Tamori and the Doji's wife come out of the magistrate building and make their way over towards the encampment area, they'll see that there is a procession coming from the northwest, from the river, of just this small group of maybe 2 dozen to 30 at most scorpion. You just see two large um, bannermen kind of coming forward. The scorpion mons are in full display.
I look over at Doji's wife
Mhm.
and I just kind of ask her, how do you deal with all of the clans coming together at once?
She looks around and then looks up at you from her wheelchair.
Hmm.
It You have to learn tricks for each of them. With the crane, you have to learn to talk about pretty things.
Hmm.
With the crab, you have to learn to talk about the dullest things.
Hmm.
With our clan, you have to learn to talk about whatever is the new philosophy that is making the rounds.
Hmm.
And then she turns and looks in the direction of the procession that's coming. With the scorpion, you have to learn to keep your wits about you.
I kind of bend down and whisper to her, that's the one that Doji's the most skeptical about. Is that right?
He has never had a good interaction with a scorpion person.
I can't say the same, but I'll keep it in mind.
The As far as I have seen, the two gentlemen that have owned the tea houses have been upstanding citizens of the empire.
Agreed. I would say so as of right now. I don't know about later, but oh, you didn't tell me about the lions. Can you tell me about them? Because I don't know anything about lions.
The lion only care about war, so you will do fine with
Oh,
them.
what a delight.
Just show them your muscles, and they will have plenty to talk about.
Um, Tamori like kind of touches her shoulder. You think I have really good muscles, or what was that? Wait, keep going.
I mean, they exist. They're not like my husband's.
Oh, okay. So then I just shut down the conversation. And keep pushing her. Where are we going towards?
The crane encampment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just shut the conversation down. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Never
Okay.
mind.
Um, as far as the encampments go,
Mhm.
it is the crab have taken the eastmost section. The next section is going to has gone to the crane.
Mhm.
Um, the next parcel was supposed to be for whatever clan has come next. It looks like the scorpion are going to make it to the parcel before the lion do because they are more concerned with showing off their procession to the people, and they're traveling down the mainland, whereas the scorpion are just they only care about getting to their parcel and just taking care of business. um, so it'll be crab, crane, scorpion, lion, and then once the dragon arrive and the phoenix arrive, the tournament will get underway.
Cool.
Real quick, what was the name of the student that we have?
That you have your Soshi.
Yes, my Soshi.
His name is Soshi Hinmaru.
As we approach the procession, um, young Hamaru, are you familiar with Benton's blessing?
Um, I believe so, sir.
When we arrive, sure to call upon it. We want to make a good first impression.
If you say so.
I'm going to attempt my first spellcasting roll.
Ooh, what is Benton's blessings? That's water.
Yes, air. Benton's blessing is air.
Oh yeah.
It's a level 2 air spell.
Oh okay.
It will allow 1k1 plus air ring for all social skill rolls.
Hmm.
For some of us that aren't super social, it seems to be a great thing.
Right. Okay. So, um, yeah, he sees you do he sees you pull the scroll out, lay it out in front of you. You start your chanting, and you notice that his face becomes contorted like he's never seen this before. Uh, but for your role, it's going to be uh, insight, your insight rank, and your air ring.
So it's not spellcasting.
It is not spellcasting as a skill
Oh,
is concerned.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The skill for spellcasting is just to determine if you can tell what spell is being used, like what kami are being called upon.
Oh, if I knew that, I would have changed a few things on my character sheet to to be better at spellcasting.
You're okay at spellcasting.
We'll find out in a second.
I mean, yeah, you have 5 dice.
Where is insight? Ah, unfamiliar character sheet.
Okay, relax. Um, I believe. Can you?
Yeah, I apologize for slowing
No.
things up. I just don't see insight anywhere on
Yeah.
this sheet.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too.
Because it says in the section that I read this on that it was the dice was a spell casting roll.
Hmm.
That's why I thought I was using that skill.
Let's go. Beginning of the spellcasting section. So spell requires a number of complex actions equal to its mastery level to cast. So it's going to be two turns of this for you.
Yep.
First of these is spent caster successfully makes a spell casting roll against a normal TN, which is equal to 5 plus the spell's mastery level times 5. Each round thereafter, the Shugenja must spend a complex action to continue the spell. For example, a spell of mastery level 3 would require 3 complex actions to complete. The Shugenja casting a spell would make his spell casting roll in the first round, expend another complex action in the second round to maintain the casting process, and complete the spell in the third round with a third and final complex action. The spell takes effect immediately upon the completion of the last complex action required to cast it, unless otherwise specified by the spell descriptor. As described in the Book of Earth, a spellcasting roll is a unique roll used by Shugenja to entreat the kami and cast a spell. When casting a spell, Shugenja rolls a number of dice equal to his rank in the relevant ring plus his Shugenja school rank, and keeps a number of dice equal to his ring. Yep.
Oh, spellcasting?
So no, it is not spellcasting. It's not.
I don't see. I should have gone over all this before we started playing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you're talking about the spellcraft skill.
I just don't know what to click. So what am I? What am I roll? What just what's? Tell me how many dice, and I know I'm keeping my air ring.
Yeah. So you're keeping 3. It's 5. Keep 3.
Okay, I guess that's all I needed to know.
Yeah. There isn't a real spellcasting section.
I know, hence why I'm all confused. Right.
Hmm.
And more buffering time as I navigate Roll20. Go to the rolly thingy section.
Let's see if this does anything.
Uh,
Okay. There you go. Okay, so that's the thing. So for casting spells, they need to be put in individually into your spell section.
Well, for now, should I just roll the 5d10?
Well, no,
And then
I rolled for you.
Oh, okay.
Thank
you.
Yeah, I was testing a theory to see if it worked, and it does. And now I know that I have more homework to do once we're done with the game.
So yeah, first time playing L5R, and I picked the complicated class.
Right. So
learned a valuable lesson.
So here, what we'll do is that for now we'll do level 2 and level 1 casting. Will be its own kind of spells attached to the air ring right now. So that way it knows that it's your affinity. If you're going to cast something, it's going to roll 6, keep 3. Because your affinity gives you 1 extra dice.
Beans.
So you should have a level 2 casting visible to you and a level 1 casting with your air ring. And there's a cast button
On the character sheet?
On the character sheet, yeah. In the spell section, underneath the rings. So yeah, the cast button is what you roll to cast. If it has a damage attached to it, you would obviously roll your damage button.
Okay, we'll go more.
Yeah, we'll play with that later.
We already rolled. I just I'll look for this button that I'm not seeing.
Okay. Worst case,
let's
I'll roll for
let's proceed.
yeah. So, uh,
I'll take whatever that die roll was that came up in.
yeah, it's 23. So it's a success. It's a success.
Hooray! I did it. I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry. Um, but yeah, he sees you go through the motions, like he's looking over your shoulder at the spell scroll. And once you finish, you feel this kind of mantle of air swoop in under your shoulders and kind of pull you up to standing at full tension. You can sense that you're carrying yourself differently, and this kid kind of looks up at you, and he's just like, "This is beyond my abilities, sir. I've never seen this scroll before."
Wow. We will have to work at that.
He nods
I will set
enthusiastically.
you a goal. I will expect that in 6 months' time you will have mastered that spell.
His eyes widen. 6 months. And he bows low. I will do my best, Soshi-san.
I like that enthusiasm. You may have 8.
But you guys see that there's a villager that kind of comes over, shows you where your parcel of land is, has been allocated. You can see that the crab and the crane are both already allocated and have set up their tents and whatnot. You can hear a loud procession taking place through the city and excuse me, through some of the breaks in the houses. You can see that the lion are kind of going through their procession through the city itself. So 4 of the 6 clans are here.
They do so love to make an entrance, don't they?
Yeah.
How far are we from each other right now?
You are probably like 50 feet away from each other. Like you're kind of in the middle of the crane encampment, and they're about setting up right now.
Okay.
You can see all
I
of them are
probably
wearing masks of some
yeah.
kind.
I think I'm pretty sure Tamori would be interested in their masks. I don't the innkeeper doesn't wear masks, right?
Your host?
Yeah, she doesn't wear a mask, does she?
She does not. She only wore a
No, she
mask when she
doesn't.
was back in active duty.
And neither did the other scorpion that helped us, yeah?
No, he had a mask.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Tamori would definitely be interested, but would not approach by themselves without either like Doji himself or somebody who can speak to a scorpion properly.
Right?
So they kind of just watch them set themselves up and stick as closely to Doji's wife as possible, just because they don't want to leave her alone.
The as the Scorpion clan is building their encampment, I think because you're not trying to hide yourself from staring at them. Soshi
I'm
will
also very big.
yeah, Soshi will notice that there is like a 6'4" giant of
Human.
of a human, just a samurai dressed in dragon colors. Like you've heard of crab getting big. Like the crab, it's their go-to. Like crab that are under 5'9" are rare. Like their average height is 5'9" to 5'10", So you know that there's been talk of like crab that are 6'6", 6'5", massive. But to see one in dragon colors with an androgynous look to them, how describe Tamori Mori for Ben?
Ben. So Tamori is a very large samurai, which I think is really great because that's a is that an advantage or a disadvantage? I can't remember which one it is.
It's an
Either way, I took
advantage.
it. It's an advantage.
Yeah.
They're as gender neutral as you could look. So it's very like I don't know if they're female or male, and they also are they them. So it's kind of fluid with like shoulder length black hair, so it could be either way. Um,
Just huge.
just a
Funny
huge
characteristic.
question.
It's like an Inosuke from Demon Slayer.
That's exactly yeah, but not little, big. So that's how they look.
Yeah. So
By
you
young Himaru, it appears that we're about to be in the shadow of a dragon.
Well, I wouldn't. Tamori would be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not going over there.
yeah.
And, and
You just notice that there's this large dragon just like staring. There's just like quizzical look on their face. There's always like
Yeah,
a
because
head
they
tilt.
definitely are like far enough away to not know if like the masks are like deformed faces. So they're definitely like
Yeah.
it's not a pretty face that they're making while looking at you.
no, it's a fair question. For some of them, that might be the case.
Yeah, but you notice that even
Were you
they're
bugged by acid or something?
no, they're incredibly
No,
comfortable.
just terribly comfortable.
Yeah. You notice that even their servants, although they are of a lower caste, like they still have like a simple something covering like the lower part of their face.
So mysterious. And by the way, like if I'm there, Doji's wife is there, so I'm kind of behind.
Oh yeah, of course.
And she's in a wheelchair, so she's
Massive. Yeah, it's a
So
massive
there's a massive ogreish person
Just
behind
staring.
someone in a wheelchair,
Right.
approaching someone with one arm.
No,
Well,
they're not approaching. They're not approaching.
Whoa.
They are just staring from a distance.
Staring from 50 feet, baby.
Yeah, the person in the wheelchair also has dragon colors, like the wheelchair itself is dragon colors, but you notice that there's accents of crane. And the both of them are in the middle of the crane encampment.
Young Himaru, how do you... I believe we're going to go on a bit of walkabout. My curiosity is piqued.
You see a young serving girl kind of come over, having heard you say that, and she just bows low. Sir, shall I accompany you then?
Tend to your duties here. I can manage a small walk. If you don't get your other tasks done, some of my family, extended and otherwise, may become cross, and I don't want to see that happen to you.
I understand.
And if you wouldn't mind, when setting up my tent, could you maybe pick an area of ground with a few less rocks? And though she can't see him smile, there's like this playfulness in his eyes.
Yeah. She nods low, and she's like, I will tell the others to make sure that your tent has no rocks, sir.
Are you heading to me?
Yes, because this is fascinating.
Perfect. I'm going to do my first roll, which is intimidation.
Ooh. How are you going to intimidate him?
Well, the moment I see a scorpion, which Doji already warned me, The other scorpion, that Bayushi guy, is shady as fuck. Even though I said nice things in front of Doji's wife. And I definitely don't want to throw the hand that I'm a mess yet. So the intimidation is class and don't fuck with me.
Okay.
Is that a courtier or etiquette roll on my end to not show any outward signs of fear?
I think let's have Tomori roll their intimidation. I think for Tetsuro.
Wait, that was the wrong one. Sorry, that was forgery.
You don't.
Hold on.
You don't.
Oh my god, we have forgery together. That's great.
You don't
Sorry.
have. No, she doesn't have forgery.
Oh,
No, hold on.
I thought we were
That was the
going
wrong
to be besties.
I think it would be more sincerity.
And that would be
Than anything else.
2, and I'm adding a 1 keep 1.
Yeah.
My spell.
Yeah, you are.
When you say it like that, it sounds kind of dirty. All right. And would my deceit classification apply?
It would. Your emphasis would, in fact, apply to this.
Okay. And so that would be with the E for emphasis. I'm learning.
E for emphasis, correct. Look at you.
I know, right? Ben can read.
Very good.
Ben read good.
Oh,
Not that
no.
good.
Not that good. Oh, that's bad. 22 versus 18. So, as you start to...
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get mad. It's a 6.5 foot tall, muscular creature. I'm 5 foot. I'm 5'8", and I'm a one-armed wizard.
Yeah.
Like, I expect it.
You step through, you cross the line into the crane encampments. Some of the servants kind of bow as you enter, seeing the wakizashi on your belt, knowing what that represents, and they kind of step away. And as the crane part, and you see now this full view of the lady in the excuse me, in the wheelchair, and this giant creature looming over them like some guardian gargoyle. You see the hands are tensed around the handles of the wheelchair. All of the musculature is popping. There are veins that you didn't know existed. They are visible. The neck is just straightened and tensed. The face is kind of tilted to the side, like do something. And just like this Dwayne the Rock Johnson raised eyebrow of come get some. And if you didn't take a step back, for sure Soshi Hinmaru has like stopped in his tracks, and he's just like, "Is this a good idea, sir?"
Keep walking, and we just walk by them. They obviously don't want to be talked to, so I'm not going to talk to them.
Yeah, and he just follows your lead.
It's that simple. It's obviously they don't want to be talked to, so I'm gonna just walk away.
I lean down to Doji's wife and I whisper in her ear, "Man, you are scary as fuck."
She just nods. My reputation precedes me.
You're correct.
And we'll go on a leisurely stroll through the encampment.
Did you just like woo, like do a complete 180?
I mean, he didn't pass his check, so he didn't approach, but he will try to do the okay, well, we're just gonna keep walking by like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, all right. Definitely, you know that between your encampment and the tea house where Bayushi Saruman is located, the crane encampment sits between you. So it's an easy thing to just be like, the The tea house
Yes,
must
we're gonna go get tea.
must be
we're gonna
this
get
way.
tea. Let's go get tea. We weren't coming over here for any other reason. We're gonna go get tea.
No, we're gonna get tea. Yeah.
Come on, kid. Let's go get some tea. I'm suddenly feeling real thirsty. How about you?
Yeah. Him Maru is just like yes. He would be fantastic right about now.
And he
would keep walking.
he just subtly. I mean, for the eye contact was only for a second, and between the mask and the hat, it's really hard to see his facial expressions.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was a definite momentary eye widening, followed by GTFO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the PCs will not be interacting or talking for the immediate future.
That's what happens when the crane is gone, and he's not here, so he can't be like, "Oh, hello."
He is the bridge that
He is the bridge.
that handles Tamori Mori and anybody else.
I should have just barked at him.
Oh, that would have gone splendidly.
Splendid. I know.
Make a mental note and debate to myself how much I want to inadvertently screw with that creature later, but I will continue on.
Okay. And you do manage to get to the tea house. It is a 3-story structure. It is beautiful in nature. It has the reds, the purples, the dark kind of brown, almost black accoutrement to its what's it called, sealed to its varnish, and the older woman at the door immediately bows low as you approach. Samurai, you honor us. We did not know that you would be arriving tonight. Shall I get my master?
Oh, I don't think that's necessary quite at this time. When it's convenient for them. In the interim, what would make me the happiest of men would be if you could arrange for my young friend and I to have some orange blossom tea. I crave the flavors and scents of the South.
Of course. Would you like to sit outside or inside?
Outside, please. And preferably with a view, any idly kind of gestures with his one hand towards, so it's viewing the masks, the encampments that are around.
Okay.
Is there a second floor?
Of course.
Seating area.
Of course.
We'll take the second floor facing the encampments.
Right this
And
way.
he even gives her a very small, very brief, not quite a bow, but a nod of respect, because he's all about the common man.
Yeah. And she does lead you upstairs. You can see that there are a couple of people, some dressed in crab colors, some dressed in crane colors. The majority of the people don't have any clan affiliation. But one person who is kind of talking to what looks to be a crane samurai is an older gentleman, maybe in his early 30s, mid 30s. His coloring and his mon give him away as the scorpion in charge here. And his mask is a beautiful looking piece of tapestry that's strewn across his face, that almost looks like there's 2 golden outlines of scorpion pulling at where his mouth should be. But he sees the 2 of you come in and he gives you a low nod, respectfully.
Returns it.
And you can just see that he smiles with his eyes, almost like telling you that he'll be with you in a moment.
He gives him the take your time, no rush eye movement.
But yeah, the madam takes you to the second story. What's it called? Balcony. And she says, "Honorable Samurai, would this do for you, or would you like to go one floor up?"
This will do.
Excellent.
If you get too high up, you can't see the finer details. It's something that a lot of my contemporaries don't seem to remember. And he gives her another very small nod of respect.
She nods. I only offered because our third story balcony is more secluded, smaller viewing audience, of course.
I appreciate that. It is good of you to think of such things.
Of course,
Sometimes, however, it pays to be seen.
I understand. Your serving girl will be Girijiko,
Send her presently.
of course.
The road has given me quite a thirst.
And she bows low as she steps backwards and out and closes the balcony door. And after a few minutes, you see a youngish girl, maybe about 17, 16, come up, slide the door open. She bows low. "Samurai, your tea," and she brings in the tray, slides herself in, closes the door behind her, picks up the tray, and then kind of serves the two of you. And you see her put a bowl of what looks to be these light green little balls. There's 4 of them. And then she puts the tray under her arm and she bows to the two of you.
He kind of sniffs for a moment. Matcha?
Green tea.
Ah, excellent. Was she referring to the tea or the ball specifically?
The balls.
Okay. Just you didn't know where my focus was.
Yeah.
Can't neglect them.
Yeah.
So I have her pour the tea out and
Of course.
turn to my young friend. And do you prefer yours sweetened?
He looks down at it. He looks up at you. He looks over at her.
There's that same like playful gleam in his eyes.
Yeah. And he's like, I have never had orange blossom tea, Soshi-sama. I don't. How would you take it?
Well, I will take it as it comes.
I understand.
Therein lies the lesson. You will simply love this, by the way.
The girl nods as if being dismissed. If there is anything,
Before you leave,
of course.
if please sit. I'm sure that you've been working quite hard today. Some time off your feet would be a welcome respite. And if any say otherwise, it is at my pleasure. You are simply serving a client.
Of course. And she drops down to her knees between the two of you, and she kind of takes her sitting position, still facing her eyes facing down at 45 degrees, making sure not to make eye contact with either of you.
It's been quite the gathering. Tell me, have you seen in the last day or so? Obviously, you would never deign to eavesdrop, but has there been any conversation, any mm, any dialogue between the various houses? Not necessarily sword rattling, but anything that seems to be the hot topic on everyone's lips.
She looks at the door, and then she slowly turns back towards you. The only thing that that fits your criteria, sir, is the recent murder that happened?
Former magistrate?
No, no, serving girl.
Have they determined who is the culprit?
No, there's talk of Maho.
Really? That is quite the story. What do you think?
I I have never seen Maho before, so I can't say if it is. The the doji, however, has pledged to find out what is happening. Um, they also, and she kind of stops herself. Forgive me. It's not my place to speak of his uh, associates.
It is your place, and my dice will tell me to tell you that. Um, let's see. I would like to roll a. Would it be courtier or etiquette? Um,
If you're trying to,
it is indeed. I understand that it is not your place. However, only shadows speak without voices. Shadows are immaterial, and you are a thing of this world. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
that's going to be more etiquette than courtier.
Let's see how I can botch this one. So keep one.
Yeah, look at you putting good use of your spells. 19.
It's 19.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Um,
Yay!
she nods. She contemplates the words that you've just told her, and then she kind of steels herself. The the doji is an older gentleman, um, but he has two giants in his circle of influence: a crab and a dragon.
The dragon, shoulder length, dark hair, pushes around a woman of some means who happens to be in a wheelchair.
Uh, the hair, yes, but I've never seen them push anyone in a wheelchair.
Hmm. Interesting. And you say that these two who are with the doji, are they aiding in the investigation or are they peripheral to it?
No, no, they are aiding him. The crab, I have heard, is an emerald magistrate.
Magistrate? Those are. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Of course.
And I give her a couple extra coins.
Yeah. She bows low, almost putting her forehead on the floor. You are very kind, sir. Shall I bring you honey to sweeten your tea if it is not to your liking?
After he kind of indicates for waits till she's like down
Yeah.
on the floor, and then he kind of gives the scorpion know that the general sign of "Don't you fucking look at me," and then takes a, he takes a sip.
Yeah,
No, I'll I'll take it for what it is.
of
But
course.
the boy may want a little bit of honey.
Of course. I'll bring it as quickly as possible. And
Oh, and if I may also make a request, I will have a letter shortly that I will be composing. If you could find someone to deliver it, uh, that would be wonderful.
Of
And
course.
meat. I require meat.
Do you require paper and a quill, sir?
I look over at Kamaru. You have your kit for scroll writing, I'm assuming.
He spurts up some of his tea. He's like, back with my stuff. Yes.
You'll have to have lessons on preparedness. Yes, a small scroll and a pen would be wonderful.
Excellent. I'll bring all of this to you post haste. And you see her slowly crawl back towards the door, never giving you her back. And she opens the door, places the tray out. You hear her say, "Excuse me, sir." And she steps out. And as she does, you hear the footfalls of, excuse me, somebody stepping out. And the door closes behind them. And you see the gentleman with the mask pull a chair from another table and come over and sit down. So he sees the two of you. He has his back the um, to the city, and now you can see that it is a very beautiful silk mask that this guy has underneath his eyes, covering the bridge of his nose and covering most of his um, lower face, and coming down to just about halfway down his neck. It is very layered, and each layer adds something to the scorpion motifs on either side of his mouth. But it does look like the golden threading is what ties everything together, and it does look like the scorpion pincers have pinched the fabric to make it look like just a line of a mouth. But he nods at the two of you.
He offers a small bow.
Gentlemen,
I am glad we're having a chance to talk. Also, allow me to extend my compliments. Your fortunes seem to be quite pronounced. For one to wear their success on their face as others might wear their eyes or their nose speaks of wealth and confidence.
I thank you for your kind words. I am Bayushi Saruman.
Arama.
Are you here with the rest of the procession?
I am. I am mentoring this young aspirant of my house who will be
Ah,
entering the tournament as a Shugenja.
ah. I had an idea of who you were, and now you have solidified my theory. Thank you. It is an honor to meet you, Soshi Tetsuro-sama.
Are there many scorpions wandering around with one pincer?
There are not,
Then I would say I'm fairly notable.
and none that I know of that are so generous to my servants. Thank you.
Courtesy is one of the virtues, is it not?
Of course.
I am nothing if not virtuous.
You see that he takes in a deep breath like he's about to say something important to you, and then you hear a scream coming back from the encampments. Mori hears the scream as well, only because and much more defined because you are near the epicenter of where the screaming coming from. Um,
It's in the crane encampment.
it is in the middle of the crane encampment.
Okay.
Somebody has found the body of a young girl, and it looks like she's had her throat slit.
Okay. And I still have Doji's wife.
Yeah.
Is Aguro already with Doji?
Yeah, Aguro's with Doji and the Kuni.
Fuck. Well, I'm taking her with me then, 'cause I'm not leaving her by herself.
Okay.
And I head to where the scream came from.
You see that there are a couple of the crane that are there. One of them has already rushed off to get to the Yeta. But it looks like the tent was set up for two of the serving girls. One of them is the one that is currently dead. The other serving girl that shared the tent with her is kind of sitting in the ball, crying.
Okay. She's in the tent though?
The dead girl, yeah, is in the tent.
Okay, and the other girl is not.
No, she's outside the tent.
Okay. So I once I get Doji's wife in a safe place, I
Yeah.
go up to her and kind of lower myself to her and ask her to breathe first and foremost. Do I have anything that's calming? I know I'm a fucking giant, so
I mean, it's
Thus
definitely not
far,
your
I have
height.
seen nothing about you that's calming.
Nothing.
Can I roll medicine to see if she's injured or anything?
The girl that's crying?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or do I just need to not roll? Is she fine?
No. She is shaking. She might have been hurt in some way, shape, or form. So you could make a medicine check if you want to.
Okay, I'm going to.
Check her over. Especially given the situation that happened in Shinomori Sato, you know.
Right.
Excuse me. You know to look for that X-shaped scar at the back of the neck.
Right, which I will do during my medicine check. But is it untrained if it's just one?
No. If you have a rank in it, it's trained.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. It's only you only hit you if you have 0 ranks in it.
I'm okay.
Oh, 13. That's par for the course.
The fuck up.
She does not have the cross-shaped scar at the back of the neck. It does look like she has definitely some kind of trauma from finding her friend dead.
Like a mental?
It's something, because she is just kind of shaking. She just keeps repeating, "Who would do this? Who would do this? Who would do this?"
Okay. The first question I ask her is because there's no she's not actually injured.
No.
I ask her, did you find her like this?
She nods.
You weren't here when this happened.
She shakes her head.
Okay. I look over at Doji's wife and kind of give her this look of, can you help me calm her down? Because I have a feeling I'm not helping too much.
Yeah.
And I go in and investigate the body
Oh.
by my fucking self.
Are you going to touch this dead body?
No, I'm not gonna touch it
Okay.
yet. I'm gonna investigate first. And
Okay.
I rolled. And fuck me, I don't know shit.
Damn, that's a terrible fucking roll. Yeah,
The tent.
Yeah,
That's a dead bitch.
You kind of bend down, get into the tent. The top of it is already scraping across the top of your head, and you're just like, "Who built this fucking tent?"
Yeah,
And
that's right. That's right.
you spend more time trying to like push the tent up so it's not rubbing against your head than you do investigating the actual scene. But you just kind of like look around as you hold this fucking tarp up over your head, your hands extended, and you're like, "Yep, dead body."
All right. That was a great investigation.
But you definitely know that she was killed here. Like this was done.
Neo. Nice.
It wasn't like she was killed and then brought here.
And then
Like
moved.
yeah,
Okay.
this is she was killed where she was.
And you said she was slit in the throat?
Yeah, it looks like she was surprised because she has this look like she wasn't expecting it.
Okay.
But yeah, she's on her back. She got one arm laying off to the side, one arm kind of holding on to the cot, and then both legs are just kind of splayed open.
She's not naked, right? She's like covered.
She's got her undergarments, but her
Okay,
actual clothing aren't visible.
that's fine.
So it looks like she might have
Um,
been getting ready for sleep.
got it. What time is it right now?
Maybe 9.
9 p.m.
Yeah, 9 at
Okay.
night. The equivalent of 9 at night.
Okay. I go back and I want to ask that girl more questions.
Nope.
Hopefully, she's a little calmer
Yeah, you can see
than I
that
approach.
Minamoto Iku is kind of like holding her hand, kind of being very gentle with her.
Okay.
As you go back to question her, you
Mhm.
see Ben, you see the gentleman kind of startled, stands up. He's like, "Not again. If you'll excuse me." And
I
he starts to make his way toward the
believe
door.
I will. I believe I'll be offering my services. I have some training as an investigator.
Oh, excellent. Um, and he kind of stops himself and he puts his hand up to his chin and he's like, "I'd much rather have you in charge than the doji, to be honest."
Well, I would prefer to stay out of the sun. I find the shade to be much cooler. However, that is the if that is the best course of action in your estimation, you know the lay of this land better than I.
Hmm. It'd be an interesting conversation to have then.
If you could, uh, if you could show me the way, commend you.
And the three of you rush over to where the scream originated.
Maru, we're on to investigate a murder.
And the three of you arrive at the crane encampment. Several of their bushi are kind of wary of you, but he does kind of flaunt his station and the fact that he has been pivotal in whatever's happened before. Um, and Tamori sees the two scorpion that were making their way past
Mhm.
them
Mhm.
come back with the scorpion in charge of the tea house by Yushi Saruman.
Mhm.
And the three of them come rushing over. He's ahead of them. He kind of sees you and he nods to Mori-san. What transpired? I heard the scream. Is everyone all right?
Um, Tamori stands up and
Full
looks
height.
back at the and looks back at the girl that's alive and trembling.
Mm.
And they tell them, I found this girl and I'm trying to ask her questions. I uh don't know what happened in the tent, but there's another dead girl in there. So that's where I'm at.
Lucky for us then that I have an investigator that has arrived from my clan, and he motions over to the Soshi and the young
We've
boy who is frightened of you.
we've met
We have
briefly in passing. Is this where the body was found?
inside the tent. Yeah.
And who found the body?
This young woman who I'm trying to ask questions, but she seems to be afraid of me.
And she's just bawling, crying.
Well,
That's the reaction I've gotten so far.
I can understand how that may have happened. Uh, he's going to. So I have an ability where I can just burn an extra slot,
Mm-hmm.
and all my spells are not visibly cast
Ooh.
when I go to cast one.
Okay.
So I am going to cast. What is it? Whispering Wind, which will allow me to know for a minute if I'm sorry, it's instant. If the last thing that they said was a lie,
Oh.
And I'm just going to look her directly in the eyes and kind of tilt her chin up to look at me. Did you know or see anything that might tell us who did this?
All right, make your spellcasting roll.
I know where that is on my sheet now.
Yeah, it's level 2.
Learning. I've been learning.
You are using your rank 2 spells.
Well, that's what they're there for. When I go to bed, they come back, and it's already late at night. Or it's getting later.
Mm-hmm.
Cast.
Hey.
Yeah, I'd say I did pretty well.
Yeah, 32. One of your dice exploded.
Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
I'm great at casting spells.
That's gonna be helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, so you take a couple of moments to kind of peruse the scene as you're quietly casting the spell.
Yeah, I'll be doing an actual investigation roll in a second, but
Mhm.
I figured I'd get her.
Yeah, and as you're
Ow.
doing that, you see, you kind of step around, you pull the flap of the tent open, you see the dead girl, and once you've gone through the ceremony in your head, and kind of quietly, not whispered it, but like mouthed the chanting, you finish, and you bend down to her. And what did you ask?
Asked, do you know or did you see anything that would be able to tell us who did this?
She sniffs a bit. She kind of wipes her face. I didn't see anyone. I came to change for the baths, and I found Rikiko there, dead.
Is she omitting the truth or lying?
She is not.
He
Wait a minute. Sorry.
He breaks eye contact. He kind of gives her like a little bit of a nod and a gentle kind of pat on the back of the shoulder to kind of gesture for her to leave.
Yep.
Someone see that she's cared for. She's not accustomed to violence as some of us are. She has nothing to do with this. And then I turn and go back to looking at the crime scene.
Yep. And as you open the tent and kind of look inside, you see the servant that they had sent off comes back, and in tow, kind of not being able to keep up pace with them because they're a little bit older. You see an older couple of a male and a female, peasant clothing, shoeless, dirty kind of appearance, but they come over and you recognize that they're definitely Eta.
Before anything else happens,
Mhm.
I go up to Soshi and I ask him before he investigates. This may be a weird question, but could you check if she was pregnant?
And he kind of pauses for a second, debating whether he wants to say anything caustic to the large creature that attempted to intimidate him earlier and succeeded.
Attempted?
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
I was about to say.
I said, and succeeded.
Yeah.
I am not a physician. I am a healer, but I do not study the workings of the body. Moreover, I feel it would be inappropriate for me to check.
Dieta steps past all of you and just immediately unrolls a leather kind of scroll of different knives and things and just starts to cut into her belly. That's fine. I can do that.
Before you touch anything, I will look over the scene. I don't want you mutilating the body until I'm done.
Yeah, okay. And he puts the knife away and
Italian.
he rolls the thing back. You tell me, you want her moved?
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
pull
to.
the Edda aside for a second and be like, after this guy leaves, check it.
He,
Yeah.
he nods and puts
I'm.
his finger to his nose.
Cool.
I got you.
So this would fall under the search specialty of investigation, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Oh God, let this be okay. And furthermore, to make this potentially catastrophic, I'm going to push for a raise.
Ooh, okay. You don't get your one keep one from your spell for this.
No, I know,
Okay.
but I've got 3 in the skill, and it's a specialty, so
It's an
I'm
emphasis.
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
gamble.
yeah, 6 keep 3. Yeah, I'd say that's a good gamble.
Here we go.
Do it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 30. God damn.
I'm good at 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
2. 3 if you count subtle ways of metaphor and whatnot.
Yep. You look around. You see certain things. There's 2 cots, so it's definitely a shared tent. You can see that some of the tarp has been undone from its cradling, so it's drooping a little bit more in the center than it should be. You see that the girl was kind of cut, slit her throat. Whoever did this slit her throat, and there's no defensive wounds, so it was definitely done by surprise. But you also notice that the foot locker that the other serving girl has is not mirrored on her side. So somebody must have taken her clothing and her possessions.
And where does the inevitable trail of gore show that the tent was exited from? Because that much blood being expelled quickly from the neck is going to cause a shower of just plasma.
Yeah.
And whoever did it more than likely is at least partially covered in some. So there might be traces on a cloth tent flap of where they pushed outward to exit the tent.
The spatter of blood that shot out Kurosawa style is against the back of the tent. There's just this kind of dripping constellation of blood across the back of the tent. It's kind of been contained. So it definitely looks like whoever did this knew what they were doing.
So if the spray was hitting the back of the tent and their throat was slit from behind, then it would have whoever did it would have come in from the front of the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoever did this was skilled. Furthermore, whoever did this entered through the front, so they're either betraying themselves as a servant or has good cause to be allowed to walk freely. Either that or it was a shinobi. But everybody knows those don't exist. The contents of this locker have also been stolen. Clothing, items, personal effects have all been cleared out. We should find out who she's been interacting with. Who did she serve?
You see the woman in the wheelchair raise her hand. She's one of my serving girls.
So one of your serving girls was targeted specifically for a gruesome murder and something that she possessed was taken. It seems to me that your serving girl either had disreputable associates or was keeping a secret from you.
I would believe the latter before I believe the first.
I pass no judgment. That is not my way, nor that of my clan, frankly.
Oh, of course.
So we have one assailant killed, potentially a servant, and obviously no samurai would have stooped to such an act, but
No,
perhaps someone posing as one.
no honorable samurai, at least. And she smirks.
Yes. Well, true. No honorable samurai would stoop to such an action.
Can we see if she's pregnant?
Thankfully,
I just want to
he
know if
kind of
someone's.
looks up at her. That's the second time she's mentioned slitting
Listen.
open this person to see if they're pregnant.
Yeah.
I the first girl was pregnant too, and I'm just wondering if someone's sleeping around and then killing the people that they're sleeping with.
Well, I don't think it would be very difficult to tell if she were. Are you saying that the first person had their womb forcibly examined?
No, I can't remember if. I'm pretty sure it was like torn out. Was it? I forgot. I just remember that she was pregnant, and it wasn't good.
No, the child was there, and then it was when the womb was removed, you saw that it was like not human.
Yeah. So, So fuck you. I'm doing the right thing, looking for non-human babies in wombs.
Yeah. Welcome to Ray.
No point. Told you. Looking for non-human babies in wombs was wrong. Himaru, would you be so kind as to fetch your scroll kit for me? I require paper and pen. And he's kind of looks at the others like almost like the kid really is not going to be helpful right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And he kind of nods and just without second guessing you, he just rushes off.
Be thorough. Take your time. No rush.
Yeah, and you see that he kind of nods at you with a thankful kind of look because it almost you can't tell, but it almost was like if he had to look at this body for another minute, he would have thrown up.
I know. I'm a helper.
I'm doing the Lord's work. But yeah, the Edda just kind of like pulls the knife out from his little wrapped up bundle of leather and he's just like, "You want me to get to it?"
Japanese man, let's go.
Well, while you're eviscerating the corpse, with permissions from all present, I would like to continue my investigation by uh, interviewing some people in the surrounding area.
And you see the Edda bend down. He takes his knife to the girl's belly again, and you hear a voice. You will be interviewing people under my watch. And you've noticed that a older gentleman has arrived, and in tow he has another giant of a man. This one in crab colors, but his height rivals that of the dragon. And to his other side, he has what looks to be a woman with the face paintings of some oni and just this wild mane of hair. And this is where we're going to stop for the night because that is Doji himself. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, thank you for coming out and joining us for our little corner of the internet. As always, please continue to wash your hands, continue to keep your distance, continue to wear your masks in public. Please take care of yourselves. If you are of age to get the vaccine, please get yourself vaccinated. This is becoming much more dangerous than it should be, and it's just because we're not out there getting ourselves vaccinated and take care of each other. As always, we take mental health here very serious because it is okay to not feel okay. So if you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our chat to help you find the resources you need to get the help that you need. If you feel like you need it, I have said need too many times in that sentence, but it's true. If you need resources, if you need to reach out, if you need to ask somebody for help, there are resources that you can get. If you are not in the United States, there's a link going up as well in the chat. All of this information will be in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. If you are a friend or a family member of somebody that is normally a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them, especially now. Holidays can be rough for people, and a simple hello or how are you can definitely change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please check in on your friends, check in on your families, take care of each other. We will be dark Friday because of Christmas Eve, so please have a happy holidays. But otherwise, we will see you on Monday for our Anarch chapter of our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, or on next week, Tuesday, we will be introducing you to the Arun of our Werewolf the Wild West pack, and we will be dark next Friday as well for New Year's Eve. So please enjoy the holidays, hold each other a little tighter, hug each other a little tighter, say I love you to whoever you feel needs to hear it, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good night.